Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lepakshi Kurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Tuesday, the 15th of March. Over 22,500 Indians brought back from war-torn Ukraine, says Foreign Minister Jaishankar. India says reviewing procedures after accidental missile launch into Pakistan. Islamabad rejects statement. And Pakistan's opposition calls entire nation to join anti-government rally on March 23rd. And now for all the details, India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar on Tuesday told the Parliament that over 22,500 Indians have been brought back safely from war-torn Ukraine as part of evacuation mission Operation Ganga, despite serious challenges amid the Russian invasion that has now entered the 20th day. He said even while India was participating in global deliberations over the evolving situation, the pressing challenge was to ensure Indian citizens were not in harm's way.
India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar on Tuesday informed the Parliament that over 22,500 Indians have been brought back safely from Ukraine despite serious challenges amid the Russian invasion of the European country. Jaishankar said the government's evacuation mission Operation Ganga was launched on February 24 at a time when airstrikes and shelling were underway. 4 Indian ministers also reached Ukraine's bordering countries to better coordinate the efforts to bring back Indians in special flights, while Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself reviewed the situation through daily meetings. The Foreign Minister said even while India was participating in global deliberations of the evolving situation at the UNSC, the pressing challenge was to ensure Indian citizens were not in harm's way.
Despite the challenges posed by the serious ongoing conflict, we have ensured that about 22,500 citizens have returned home safely.
At least one Indian student was killed in shelling in Ukraine's Kharkiv city earlier this month. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi last week called Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky separately and urged them to hold direct talks. He also expressed hope that the ongoing negotiations between the warring sides will lead to cessation of violence.
And India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh addressed the Parliament over the accidental firing of missile that landed in Pakistan on March 9th. He expressed regret and said New Delhi has ordered a court of inquiry into the incident. Pakistan, in response, rejected that statement. Pakistan's Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi said he had written to the UN Security Council on the matter and asked the international community to take the matter up.
India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh told Parliament on Tuesday that New Delhi is conducting a review of its standing operating procedures for operations, maintenance and inspection of weapons systems after accidentally launching a missile into Pakistan last week. India accidentally released a missile which landed in Pakistan around 7 p.m. last Wednesday during routine maintenance and inspection, he said. While this incident is regretted, we are relieved that nobody was hurt due to the accident, Singh said.
हम अपने वेपन सिस्टम की सेफ्टी और सिक्योरिटी को सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता देते हैं। इस संबंध में यदि किसी भी प्रकार की खामी पाई जाती है तो उसे तुरंत दूर किया जाएगा। मैं सदन को आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि हमारा मिसाइल सिस्टम अत्यंत सुरक्षित और भरोसेमंद है। इसके अलावा हमारे सेफ्टी प्रोसीजर्स और प्रोटोकॉल्स उच्च स्तरीय हैं और समय-समय पर इसकी समीक्षा भी की जाती है।
Although tensions between India and Pakistan have calmed in recent months, military experts have previously warned of the risk of accidents or miscalculations by the nuclear-armed arch rivals which have fought 3 wars. Meanwhile, Pakistan's Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi said on Tuesday, Islamabad rejected Indian Defence Minister's statement. Qureshi told journalists he had written to the UN Security Council on the matter and asked the international community to take the matter up.
An Indian court on Tuesday upheld a ban on wearing of the traditional Muslim head covering hijab in classes in the southern state of Karnataka that sparked a widespread protest last month by some Muslim students. The court said the government had the power to prescribe uniform guidelines, dismissing various petitions challenging the order.
The High Court in India's Karnataka on Tuesday upheld a ban on wearing of the traditional Muslim scarf hijab in classes in the southern state, a ruling that could set a precedent for the rest of the country, which has a big Muslim minority. The ban by the southern state had sparked widespread protests last month by some Muslim students and parents and counter-protests by Hindu students. Chief Justice Ritu Rajavasthi said, "We are of the considered opinion that the wearing of the hijab does not form a part of essential religious practice in Islam. The government had the power to prescribe uniform guidelines," he said, as the court dismissed various petitions challenging the order.
Institutional discipline prevails over individual choice. Thirdly, about the government order, the stand of the state, wherein its state had said that it would not interfere in these matters and it would leave it to the concerned institution, that was sought to be criticized by saying that it resulted in non-application of mind, it resulted in discrimination, etc. That has also been negatived. And in all the the High Court has rejected all the petitions.
Students who had challenged the ban in court had argued that wearing the hijab was a fundamental right guaranteed under India's constitution. Currently, there is no central law or rule on school uniforms across the country, but the Karnataka ruling could prompt more states to issue such guidelines.
And amid the political turmoil over the no-confidence motion against Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan, Opposition Alliance Chief Maulana Fazlur Rehman has urged the people to join the anti-government long march towards Islamabad on March 23rd. The ruling PTI party has also announced a mammoth public meeting in the national capital on March 27th ahead of the no-confidence vote in the parliament.
Maulana Fazlur Rehman, the president of multi-party opposition alliance PDM, the Pakistan Democratic Movement, on Monday called on the entire nation to march towards the federal capital on March 23 for an anti-government long march. This comes as the opposition has submitted a no-confidence motion in the National Assembly accusing PM Imran Khan of mismanaging the economy and poor governance in the toughest challenge he has faced since taking power in 2018. The PDM chief said the opposition's no-confidence motion against the Premier was in line with the expectations and the hopes of Pakistani people. The ruling PTI-led coalition has a total of 179 members in the National Assembly, while the opposition claims to have the support of 162 members.
23 मार्च को पूरे मुल्क के कोने-कोने से आप इस्लामाबाद की तरफ रवाना हो जाएं। पार्लियामेंट हाउस के दरवाजे से लेकर शाहराह दस्तूर पर तारीख का अजीम शान मुजाहरा होगा। पार्लियामेंट के तमाम अराकीन को बहिफाजत ऐवान तक पहुंचने और अपना वोट इस्तेमाल करने का मुकम्मल कवर मुहैया किया जाएगा।
Amid rising political temperature, the ruling PTI party has also announced a mammoth public meeting at Democracy Chowk in Islamabad on March 27, after which the voting on the no confidence will take place, PTI Senator Faisal Javed Khan informed. The government has exuded confidence to defeat the no trust motion.
And more on news from Pakistan. Scores of locals and political activists held a protest in Pakistan's financial capital Karachi recently over failure of law enforcement authorities to curb rising street crimes. The protesters said the country's deteriorating economic crisis is also forcing people to resort to crimes.
Locals and political activists led by the leaders of opposition Jamaat-e-Islami party recently took to the streets to protest against the rising street crimes in Pakistan's financial capital Karachi. Protesters claimed failure of the police, government and the judicial system, highlighting that criminals now rob people in broad daylight and kill whomever they wish to. Although paramilitary rangers are also deployed at the city's police stations, activists claim there has been no noticeable difference in Karachi's crime rates.
लोग महफूज नहीं हैं, हमारे बच्चे, हमारी बहनें, माएं महफूज नहीं हैं, रोज उनसे छीना झपटी हो रही है और डाकुओं को अब इतनी खुली छूट मिली हुई है कि वो जिसको चाहते हैं गोली मार देते हैं.
Activists also blamed the country's deteriorating economic crisis is forcing people to resort to unwanted crimes. Pakistan has been grappling with historical currency devaluation,
record high inflation and current account deficit, which has put Prime Minister Imran Khan under increasing pressure.
An art and handicraft exhibition has opened in Afghanistan's capital, Kabul, during which a variety of calligraphy, paintings and handicraft products will be on display. The event was launched on Sunday to mark the National Day for Protection of Cultural Heritage in the war-torn country, with the objective to encourage the Afghan people to protect their culture. More than 100 people visited the exhibition on the first day. Officials from the National Museum said manual skills and fine arts of Afghanistan's contemporary craftsmen are on display.
ملی کشور یکی از مظهر آثار افغانستان است که هر کس اگر در این موزیم میاد و آثار قدیمی افغانستان را میبینه میتونه بررسی خوب از وضعیت تاریخی افغانستان داشته باشه. امارات اسلامی افغانستان همچنان به خاطر حفظ میراث‌های کشور هم مسئولیت داره و آن را ان شاءالله به گونه احسن و خوب انجام خواهد داد.
An artist in central India have devised an innovative way to recycle electronics and automobile metal scraps by transforming them into attractive and beautiful sculptures. The objective is creating awareness about ecology and the need for reuse and recycle.
Artist Amit Sinha from central India's Jabalpur has been upcycling metal waste into beautiful installations for several years now. A painter by profession, Amit got into scrap metal art after being inspired from his father, who is a welder. He gets an idea and then begins to work on figuring out the different ways to create striking sculptures from discarded metal parts.
फिर गुरंदी जैसे घूमते ही गया तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें मुझे दिखती गई और जितने भी कबाड़ वहाँ फेंकते थे मैं डेली देखता था और डेली जाता था स्क्रैप के जो गोडाउन वहाँ पे रहते थे तो उसमें मैं फॉर्म्स ढूंढता था हमेशा कि इसमें मुझे क्या दिख रहा है और धीरे धीरे करके कंटिन्यू करते गया उस चीज़ को. पहले तो एक शौक़ था मेरा, फिर बाद में मैंने उसको अपने प्रोफेशन में डेवलप कर लिया.
Vanchika Rathore is another budding artist from Madhya Pradesh, Jabalpur. A student of fine arts, Vanchika began scrap metal art journey during the COVID-19 pandemic 2 years ago. She perfected her art during these years and now has her art installed in parks, government offices and even get private orders. She says so far she has made 70 structures and has done 20 installations.
मैं जब कोविड से घर में आई थी तो एक आर्टिस्ट है ना कि कुछ ना कुछ करना चाहिए, तो मुझे हल्का सा डिप्रेसिंग टाइप लग रहा था कि हम एकदम से सब चीज़ से अलग हो गए. तो हमारे घर में जो मटेरियल था पहले मैंने उससे ट्राई किया.
Vanchika says in an effort to conserve the environment, she also recycles electronic waste products into attractive sculptures. Electronic waste management is fast becoming a new business trend that includes the reusing or refurbishing of discarded, surplus, obsolete or broken devices.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Over 22,500 Indians brought back from war-torn Ukraine, says Foreign Minister Jaishankar. India says reviewing procedures after accidental missile launch into Pakistan. Islamabad rejects statement. And Pakistan's opposition calls entire nation to join anti-government rally on March 23rd. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow.